Were accused of kidnapping Catherine Grove, an Arkansas girl. Her family believes she has been brainwashed by this organization and is still missing.
5 days later, Catherine finally called from a town 380 miles away. Catherine said she was with the Church of Wells. Her parents asked locals for directions.
They said, "Oh, you're here looking for the cult."
The Groves knocked on the door of this house owned by the Church of Wells.
Their first words were, "Mr. and Mrs. Grove, we fear you're going to kidnap your daughter from us."
The Groves say when they
So, we have an episode here of Dr. Phil where a child was taken into a cult situation. I guess, I don't know. We're going to find out how this child even got there and talk about it. But this sounds like to be a real cult. Nowadays, people call everything a cult. They even call church cult, right? But there are still cults out there. So, let's see what's going on.
Finally saw Catherine after 4 hours of pleading. She looked to have lost 10 pounds.
And I couldn't help but ask, "Are you okay? Do you have plenty to eat?" And she didn't answer. She looked at the elders.
Catherine Grove chose not to return home that day, and she's remained in Wells since. Her parents believe the group uses sleep deprivation to brainwash members, which the group's leaders deny.
It's annoying because of the music, so it's like I have to kind of move on a little bit because there's too much music and it'll mess up with the copyright. Sorry, guys.
Andy Grove was there. He told KETK he tried to speak to his daughter, but he was kicked off the site by church members. Mr. Grove says that he only got a chance to see his daughter for a brief second from a distance.
Catherine's parents, Andy and Patty, claim that over the years, Catherine has tried to escape 4 different times. They claim the Church of Wells is a cult. They say that they have brainwashed their once vibrant daughter and left her a scared and lifeless zombie.
Catherine went missing 4.5 years ago.
Catherine was 26. She was in nursing school. We were certain she must be hanging out with some friends for the holiday weekend.
Catherine.
I hate the music. Like, it's just so annoying because, like, Dr. Phil's already hardcore on who is allowed to play his videos. Like, but this is interesting. This is quite interesting. First of all, I thought the girl was 15.
Called. She said, "I'm in Wells, Texas." And she said, "I'm with a group of friends." We got to Wells.
We saw a pickup with a group of teenagers. They said, "Oh my, you're looking for your daughter." And I said, "How do you know?" They said, "Many families come to Wells looking for their kids. You need to find her today or she will disappear." And they pointed down the street. She said, "Likely Catherine is in that house." So we knocked on the door, and 2 young men in their 20s came out and stood in front of us. They said, "We have evidence, Mr. Grove, that you've tried to murder your daughter." Hattie and I are thinking, this is the craziest conversation I've ever.
So what happens is that they probably make these people remember things that really didn't happen. Maybe they give them some allegedly ayahuasca, some, what's the other one called? Peyote or something, allegedly. And then they start to have these weird memories of things that never happened. It's very easy to convince somebody of something that did not happen, which is scary, right? It really is. Sometimes it doesn't even take any kind of, chemical assistance.
Ever had. It was over 7 hours before they agreed to allow us to go see Catherine.
She said, "They have convinced me that I'm not saved."
I started wondering, could Catherine be brainwashed?
I started Googling Wells, and it directed me to 2 different cult forums. I started going, oh dear, what is this? Who are these people? We spoke to several of the other members. When we would bring up their family members, their eyes would begin shaking and vibrating.
But the thing is that's kind of weird about this cult is that they allow the family to talk to the people. So that's why that one is a little weird, because usually they try to keep the people away from their family.
A zombie stare. We went back to the same house, and Catherine opened the door. She immediately went into the same stare and vibrating eyes that I had witnessed, and she stared straight through me. And then she turned. I said, "Andy, something's terribly wrong." Next time we had any contact with Catherine, she called. She actually sounded drugged, and she was yelling, "This is not Catherine."
You want to talk to Catherine? She's dead. What do you mean Catherine's dead? You're standing right there. I've been crucified with Christ.
She said, "I'm in heaven," and then she says, "Mom, I'm Jesus."
What happens is that now, they're like, they're the doggone Christians, right? So it's like, now they making me look bad. No, there's something called religious preoccupation, religiously preoccupied. That's a real thing. And I can tell you as a Christian, like, there's a line that's crossed where it's like, okay, now that's enough, all right? And this is that. So when I say that, I mean, okay. So you have this story here. I've had, psych patients real quick that would pray before they would even put something in the trash. Like, they could not do anything until they prayed about 15 times. And I was like, no, this is not, I was like, this isn't Christianity, okay? You need to go throw away. Like, you need to clean your room, okay? Like, this is a bit much, By the way, guys, if you like this episode, please don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. Thank you for everybody who watches, every eye that lands.
Well, I'm glad to meet y'all. I'm sorry that you're having to deal with all of this. This is completely out of character for your daughter, correct?
Correct.
Very much so.
How do you suppose these people got her to participate in this to begin with? How do you think they got her to even start a dialogue with them?
Because Catherine loves people. Mm-hmm. Catherine loves God. And she wanted to use her life to have an impact for God. She loved people. And Catherine she wanted to spend her life helping people.
Mm-hmm. And you think they've preyed upon that love of God and
Yes,
that desire, and they've distorted that and gotten her to believe that this is the only way to do that?
Yes.
When you saw her in the park at this wedding, did you approach her?
No, I asked if I might have a word with Catherine, and they said that was not possible.
But the police officers told Andy something very important.
She's saying she's there of her own free will. I've been looking at some of the video of your daughter.
All right, so let's see what was told to Andy that was so important.
Police officers told Andy something very important.
What was that?
Well, they said that they had extensive, one of the officers said that he had extensive experience with special forces. And after interviewing Catherine, they asked her if she wanted to see her father. And she indicated no. But he said that he told me, the police officer told me that he was a specialist in body language, that Catherine's entire body was indicating non-verbally just the opposite of every word that she was saying.
Well, it's very interesting that you say that, because I am very trained in the same regard, and I've been looking at some of the video of your daughter, and I have to tell you that my comment to my staff is that some of this looks very much like a prisoner of war video to me, where you see sometimes Americans that are being held hostage, and you have what we call pushed verbalizations, where in normal conversation there's a flow where one word triggers the next word, and that's how you have flow in a dialogue. When you're not really expressing your own feelings and your own thoughts, that doesn't happen, and so you have to operate on each word individually, and so it becomes pushed. And when you hear her talking, she's having to pull up each word, and it's not that she doesn't think she's doing it voluntarily, but it doesn't flow. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened when someone has surrendered their will and they're not talking in a way.
So basically what he's explaining is that she's looking for the words to say. It's like, because it's not coming, like you said, from her own free will, so it's not flowing. The cadence in her speech is it's probably a little pressured. There's a lot of, not too pressured, but more of a kind of blank type of rehearsed. And there might not even be any too much stuttering in it though, but it's still not coming from a flow that is of her own flow, of her own free will, which totally makes sense. So I think there is a video that they're going to show of her.
The church posted this video of Catherine explaining that she's right where she wants to be.
I want to be here at the church. It's just that this situation between my parents and I has caused a lot of trouble, and they've made up all kinds of accusations that aren't true against the church. The church is completely innocent of the accusations of forcing me to do things against my will, or like any physical abuse, or some of those things that were named were like, I don't even want to speak of them. I'm safe and sound here.
So I mean, let's just pause here at this really bizarro type of look here. So first of all, this person is definitely malnourished. She looks 13. She's a 26-year-old, probably now like 28 or something, registered nurse. Like, she's definitely supposed to be looking like an adult. I don't care about if you don't have makeup on and things like that, whatever, maybe, but she's but she is obviously malnourished, not taken care of. Now, when you listen to the speech, that is not normal talk. Normal talk is somebody who wants to be where they are. And it's funny because I actually said this about the girls when there was a girl when R. Kelly, the whole situation was happening, and they were saying that, oh, he kidnapped this girl or whatever. But she was like, I want to be here. Like, I asked him, and I could hear it on her voice. I said, no, she wants to be there. She's getting paid. I'm not saying it's the best place for her, but she wants to be there. Maybe she doesn't know any better, but she wants to be there. This person is like looking for the words, and first of all, the black screen. And I mean, at least if this was a place with some cows or something, you know what I mean? These people are on rations. You can already tell there was boarding in the house. Anywho, when a person is saying they want to be there, it would be more like, listen, my parents, they don't understand what we're doing here. We have a mission of God. Even a person who is even brainwashed and would even sound better, like fully brainwashed, would be like, we have a mission of God. We have to wake up the world to the upcoming apocalypse, and I have to be here. You have to understand that my mission is supposed to be here. And listen, I don't mind sacrificing some things to do that. And my parents, they probably think the worst things, but these things are not happening, and it's a lot of work, and I have to be here to do the work. At least this girl is not even sounding like that. So she's actually captured. This is not church, guys. This isn't Christianity, okay? I do believe she's captured, and it takes a lot for me to say that because I don't trust people. I always think that there's some sort of cynical something in the back end, but this one is captured.
The church is completely innocent of the accusations of forcing me to do things against my will, or like they
forced her to do stuff against her will, allegedly, in my opinion, because she looked down when she couldn't finish that sentence with looking up into the camera, by the way, just so we know.
That my daughter is trying to leave this.
See, this is, and when I say malnourished, again, you have to see, not everybody, it's not about, oh, skinny, fat. No, she's actually a petite girl. She's a petite woman. She's supposed to be petite. She's not supposed to be huge. Her body frame is very nice and thin. But her cheeks here, when somebody's like having some nourishment issues, their cheeks start to sink in, regardless if they were fat or skinny. It's not the same face. She has cheeks here, okay? And she's definitely not a fat girl, but she has a full face and a bright face here and a very modest look. She's a pretty young woman. She looks like a young woman here. she's been mistreated, allegedly, in my opinion, so bad that she appears as a 13-year-old kid. Right now, especially right now, it's a very critical time where a lot of people are going to get caught up in systems that are not in place for their benefit. But anyway, hopefully they'll get their daughter back. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.